Hi my pretties, welcome or welcome back to the channel. Before we start this reading, I want to take a moment with you to make sure you are relaxed. No matter what we find out in this reading, I want you to be okay. I want you to realize it's not the end of the world, for sure, that everything is going to line up exactly the way it needs to line up for you. And I want you to know that you are in full control of your situation. I want you to know that you have free will. These cards are not going to stop you from changing your course. They will not alter your course. If anything, they will just bring awareness to the situation. All right? And let's shuffle together, shall we? Tonight, I actually felt like being cozy and being relaxed while doing this reading, so I'm actually doing it on my foldable couch bed, and that's why I wanted to bring it to your attention, for you to be relaxed as well, for you to try to identify where in your body do you feel tension. Which muscles do you feel need to be stretched out? You perhaps feel tension in your shoulders, in your neck, in your jaw. Unclench your jaw. Sometimes I feel tension in my legs and I don't realize it. So maybe in your legs, your calves, your feet, right? So just make sure you turn your awareness while I'm shuffling to the parts of your body that might feel tense and just release that for me, okay? All right. So as you can tell from the title, we are going to look at this person's feelings for you, and we are also going to check their intentions towards you. All right. All right, that should be good. So keep this person in mind and set the intention that this reading is going to be for the highest good of you, of this person, and of all. So let us see, Spirit. What are this person's feelings towards my watchers? What are their feelings? Alright, we got a jumper. And this is the Knight of Cups. And as you can see, it is upright. We also have, this is the Seven of Swords. Seven of Skulls is the Seven of Swords. So there is a little bit of deceit or a little bit of perhaps selfishness going on, but we're gonna discuss it in a moment. We have the Sun. Love to see it. All right. Okay, what else? How do they feel about the person who's watching this reading? I'll try to line these up. That's the High Priestess right there. The Lady. We also have the Four of Swords in reverse. We have the Four of Wands. And finally, Spirit, we have the Six of Wands. And I'm also going to check the bottom of the deck energy, and that is Justice reversed. All right. So contrary to what you might think, especially with this Seven of Swords here, which can sometimes show some sort of deceit or treachery, or maybe even lies, or white lies rather. It's not an out front, just full-on lie. It's more like yeah, I didn't want you to know that because I didn't want you to get hurt, or like I just omitted that, you know. It's like an omission more. But I want to say I feel like this person is actually really honest and upfront about their behavior, and I think they do know that the feelings in this relationship are not equal. They're not necessarily unreciprocated, but they're not exactly the same. With this Knight right here, I do feel like there is an emotional connection, perhaps even empathy. I feel like you guys have had similar life experiences. Perhaps there's some mirroring when it comes to your methods of coping. You might use the same things to help yourselves relax. For some people, I heard smoking. For others, I also heard procrastinating could be something that you do um, to heal, or like to try to handle like an overstimulated, overly anxious nervous system. So there's empathy, and there's this feeling of I get you, and I feel like because you get me too, then we can have some sort of romantic stable connection. There's also this feeling like you might show them the way. I heard with the sunflower here, I feel like you're also helping bring to light things about them that they didn't necessarily have awareness of, or didn't focus their attention on that specific aspect, especially when it comes to possible traumas or memories or repressed memories and feelings, things that they didn't even realize could have been trauma. And I do feel like you um, are shedding light on these aspects of themselves that they're not necessarily proud of, which can be scary. I want to mention that they can be scary, and there can be a tendency from their side to retreat from you and take time off of you guys, because they feel like your presence alone brings into light that which they wanted to keep hidden. So yeah, with this Seven of Swords here, it's almost like they're ghosting you, or they're not telling you the entire truth of why they might be avoiding you from time to time. They're taking time for themselves. They don't want to tell you that they are sort of intimidated, or that this connection feels like a little bit more than they were expecting in terms of connection and understanding. And it's like you see through them, and that can be scary. So they can put up this front also with the lady here. They can put up this front where they're either putting on a mask, or they're trying to conceal things about them. Maybe some of them, for some of you, maybe they don't talk as much, or they used to talk a lot but now they don't, and they more so nod and go like and they listen to you, and they let you do the talking, and they kind of revert the conversation back to you and about you. Because I feel like there's an intuitive understanding of what you guys are going through, and when you understand what they've gone through, you kind of read them inside out already, and you know why they do certain things, and you can keep them and hold them accountable for certain behaviors that are not necessarily healthy or respectful fully towards you. So they don't like that, so they're trying to conceal some of the stuff that they're going through. With the Four of Swords here, I do feel like this connection is triggering healing inside of them. I feel like they're realizing where they've postponed, for example, like that day of actual self-care, or that day of journaling, or they're postponing looking at certain feelings and experiences and actually processing those things. I feel like they might be really distracted. They might always try to do something and always be on the move, and always kind of switch their attention from this to that. It's almost like their brain can't sit still, and they can't really be alone with themselves and with their thoughts, right? I feel like they're having a hard time with that. So this is one of the reasons why when you guys hang out, they might try to get you to actually do things, so that they don't have time to listen to their own thoughts and worry and, revert into old patterns. And I heard like depressive episodes, so maybe they've been through that. But I feel like they associate being sad and just letting the feeling be with them for a minute. They associate that terribly with a depressive episode, and they're scared that if they let those emotions out, they're actually gonna go into a full-blown depressive episode. So they're just scared to look at those things. With this Four of Wands here, I want to say I think this person feels like they have kind of struck gold with you, because I don't think they've had a stable relationship slash friendship. I don't want to say they've friend zoned you, but if for some of you things are moving kind of slowly and you guys are starting out as a friendship, take that as it applies. It doesn't mean it's gonna stay like that, but the feeling is here that they have met a person whom they have established a connection with, and it's pretty deep or it's pretty personal already, and it's almost like something that they checked on their list of things that they rarely get to do or they rarely get to feel. It's like something they're really proud of here. So I feel like the relationship has also reached whatever stage you guys are at. I feel like it has reached this just stage of comfort and stability, where it's like, it's not like you guys are just gonna stop talking randomly. So maybe say you meet someone on Tinder, right, and you talk to them for a little bit, and then all of a sudden you realize, you know what, I don't care about this person anymore. I don't care for it. They don't seem to be exactly on my wavelength. I feel like you guys have bypassed that, and you actually do get along, and you both actually do care to see where the connection is gonna go further from this point on. And not to mention that we have a Six of Wands here, which shows me that they feel successful in their endeavor to catch your attention, catch your eye, and it seems like they're successful. They feel successful and they feel proud, they feel admired, they feel desired, they feel wanted, right? And they feel like this pursuit has, yielded the results that they were expecting, that they wanted. And I would say be aware here that maybe some people can use this attention and just fuel themselves with it, like a little rush of dopamine, and they don't necessarily like treasure you for company. They just like the attention. So if you feel like it's going more towards that, just be a little wary of this connection. And we also have the Ten of Wands here. I do feel like you're helping this person out, and they do feel like you're helping them put down a big load, or maybe stop being so hard on themselves. I feel like they were getting themselves so busy with a million things to do, never giving themselves a break, and you came in like a much needed break, right? Like a much needed retreat, so to speak, right? But yeah, I want to talk about justice before we move on. And I do want to say justice here can mean both an inequality of like shared feelings. I don't know how you feel about them, but it seems like it's definitely different and not as strong on one side. I don't know which one of you feels more strongly, but it can also mean that you came in and you kind of barged in on their life. It's almost like they didn't necessarily look for this type of connection when they did find you. It just happened to them, and they just kind of rolled with it, right? It was kind of random and unplanned, but they chose to stick with it. So let's see what their intentions with you are currently, which, mind you, can change as you guys advance in this relationship, for getting closer or growing apart. So it really depends. But as of right now, we're gonna look at what their intentions are in this moment. Okay, So let's take a look at that. We're gonna give this a good shuffle. And I absolutely love this deck, and if you want to look it up, this is the Grateful Dead tarot deck. I am actually not listening to their music. I have looked them up. That was a bad shuffle. I'm gonna do another one. So turns out they're a band. I didn't know. I just saw the deck and I fell in love with it when it was still in pre-order, and I just fell in love with it for months and months. I waited for it to come out, and when I finally got my hands on it, I was elated. It's amazing, it's beautiful, it's comforting. Yes, it does feature a lot of skeletons and weird creatures, eyeballs and all of that, but it's comforting with all the colors. And I don't know, it's not a moody deck. It's a mood deck, but it's not a moody deck. So yeah, their music was not exactly my style, but this deck absolutely is. Look at it, it's gorgeous. I was kind of disappointed that it did not have any gilded edges, but I'm not mad because just everything else is so satisfying. So let's see what their intentions are towards you. And I am going to take reversals, and I'm setting the intention that for the cards that come out upright, they're really sure about that and how they want to proceed in, you know, that regard. But for the cards that are upside down, that might talk about where they have blockages or insecurities and what's causing those types of blockages. So let's say, Spirit, what are their intentions towards my people that are watching? What are their intentions? Okay, we have the Four of Wands again. So the Four of Wands, even when it's reversed, it still talks about stability and achievements, but it's under a certain delay, right? And we have the Page of Pentacles. So what else, Spirit? Okay, well, that's a bunch. We have the Three of Wands, and we also have the Queen of Pentacles. And I'm not exactly sure about this one, so I'm gonna put it back, and if it jumps out again, then it's for you, but if it doesn't, then it wasn't meant for you. Let me rearrange this a little bit. All right, let's see. What are this person's intentions for people that are watching? Okay, I'm gonna just take the base one, and this is the Six of Cups in reverse, the Queen of Swords in reverse. Okay, that makes sense. And I do want a couple more, Spirit, please. Ooh, that's exactly two as well. We have the Hangman and Doorway. And this is 14, so this will be Temperance. All right, so Temperance and the blues. This is the Hanged Man. Okay. Bottom of the deck energy for you, still the Sun. Still this person wants to hold true to their promises, and they want to be upfront with you. They want to be sincere and honest and authentic. So off the bat, we're gonna roll with this kind of energy, okay? So what are their intentions towards you? With this Page of Pentacles here, I do feel like we're talking about baby steps, right? Taking things slowly. I do feel like this person might have either Capricorn or Taurus energy, mostly Taurus, could be Virgo as well, but principally like mainly Taurus. They're taking things slow, they're really observing what's going on, they're taking everything in, they're not rushing at all, especially if this is something serious. With this Four of Wands, like I said, I do feel like they are trying to postpone perhaps going to the next obvious step, or maybe they're trying to postpone making it official for some of you. And we can actually ask why that is. And I'm gonna get a couple of cards. Spirit, why are they trying to postpone this connection going to the next obvious step? And we got the Knight of Swords, and my candle just rolled off. All right, so this is the Knight of Swords, and this does correlate with the Queen of Swords here. I feel a lot of fear coming from this person, more so like apprehension. They're afraid of what you're gonna say. They're afraid of your reaction once you find out who they truly are, because I don't feel like they're putting on a mask necessarily, but they don't want you to show the worst parts of them. And I do feel like this person was either bullied, or perhaps they've just had to deal with people who are really critical of their behavior, and they're just kind of used to, you know, a lot of hurtful words being thrown at them and them being criticized in the most gnarliest of ways, being called names, you know, and why can't you do anything right, are you stupid or something, and you know, even worse than that, but that as an example. And I do feel like they're wary, and they're really studying the connection right now, because they want to see if they can catch any whiff of that behavior potentially in you. Okay, we have the Queen of Pentacles here, so they're in their self-care era. First and foremost, they might be really attached to their mother, or like a mother figure, and they might even need like kind of motherly treatment, where they need to feel safe and secure before they trust. They don't want to take a leap of faith, because I feel like deep down they're really sensitive, or they get hurt easily, and they internalize accusations easily. And I do feel like their self-esteem, they're working on it, but it's still kind of in like an early stage of healing process or development. So yeah, I really don't think they're gonna rush into things. Sorry about that. I don't know exactly what I did to the camera, but oh well. Yeah, now it's kind of crooked. So anyways, I want to talk about the Six of Cups, which Six of Cups, if you ask me, a lot of the times to me it means giving love without expecting something in return. And when it's reversed, it's almost like that fantasy is gone. It's perceived as a fantasy, as a distant memory. It's almost like they believe nobody is ever going to love them quite like their mama did, or nobody's gonna love them so honestly and so deeply and so sincerely and accept them for who they are. This can also indicate inner child wounds, or wounds related to their childhood, or that stemmed from their childhood upbringing. This a lot of the times shows me an aversion, or like a mistrust, an aversion to connecting intimately, to actually believing that someone is going to love you and accept you the way you are. So it's also related to their self-esteem and their self-worth. Okay, they might feel like they're not worth your love and your attention yet, and they kind of have to convince themselves through your behavior that you do see them as someone worthy. And yes, once again, with this Queen of Swords, they want to make sure, because I feel like they look up to you, and they do see you as someone mature and sensible and rational, and I feel like they do agree with a lot of the things that you're saying. So if they ever hear you say something nasty about them that they don't want to hear, they're gonna internalize it. So they're afraid to step, further and commit further, because that means that they have sanctioned you as someone who has power over them in their life, and they don't want that unless they know that you're someone who's gonna care for them, right? With Temperance here reversed, I do feel like they're trying to make sure that they're not gonna revert back to old habits, whatever old habits means to them. It could be, for example, jumping into relationships too quickly, rebounds, or it could even be bad habits related to not being accepted, related to not being treasured, related to not being seen as good enough, or them perceiving themselves like they're not good enough through the behavior of other people towards them. They're kind of like looking too deep into your words and actions, like, oh, so they didn't hug me this time when we said hi, so that means that I must done something wrong with that, or that they're withdrawing their feelings, so clearly I've done something wrong, or I'm not worth it, I'm stupid, whatever, you know. So they want to make sure they're not reverting to old behaviors. And finally, we have the blues, which is the hanged one, the hanged man. This is kind of like a test period as well. It's like them looking at this relationship from all angles and all points of view, and like just really analyzing it and looking into details. The hanged man, I do think it's associated with Pisces on the one hand. On the other hand, some tarot readers do also associated with Virgo. Pisces because it's card number 12 zodiac sign, and Virgo because of this analytical sort of perspective. I am also getting, like I said, I'm getting a lot of earth vibes from them. This is someone who's really cautious, who's looking at things for, you know, the long run, but only if they can fully trust their investment, because they do see that the relationship is an investment of time, energy, commitment, money, possibly, just, you know, all of that, and they don't want to make a wrong move, I heard. So yeah, this is them looking at the relationship from all points of view, and even sometimes they might even be potentially testing out the waters, testing you, and doing things backwards just to kind of see how you'd react. So at least, you know, if it's a simulated fuck up, if it's a simulated mess up, then they don't actually have to feel guilty, but they can still see your reaction, you know, which is kind of toxic, like, not gonna lie, but that's what they're doing. So everyone's ish stinks, right? Everyone has something. So yeah, this is pretty much all I have for you. Hopefully this cleared up some of that confusion and paranoia, because I did get like a lot of moon energy before starting this reading, Pisces energy as well, and we're ending the reading with Pisces energy too. So if you enjoyed this, then I would love it if you subscribe to the channel so I can talk to you again and hopefully soothe you again. Do leave me a comment down below and let me know how you resonated. Like this video because it deserves it. And if you want to connect with me on TikTok and on Instagram, my social media is listed below, but you can basically find me at the Phantom Tarot on TikTok and Phantom Tarot on Instagram. And I do take personal readings at the moment. Just shoot me a personal private message, a DM, on either of these apps, or even in the comments below, and I'll connect with you. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Hopefully I'll see you soon. Bye.